Awesome. Thank you very much. I did wanna, this is actually for Phyllis more, but hopefully she'll watch the recording. She had a few questions for me last class that I told her I'll look up and return to her with answers. So Phyllis, this is for you. Um, the first question was, what are the rules when we're conjugating? What are the rules about the nikud or the vowels? Why do they change the way that they do? And with your permission, I'm going to share screen. Where's my thing? Here it is. So this is the page from the Hebrew Academy regarding the rules of voweling. There are a lot of them for different, so this is where it gets a little bit even mathematical. It's about the weights of the words, the way that it's built, but here's the thing. As I expected last class, the crown above all of those considerations behind how to vowel is tonality. Sometimes it'll be gender or the type of the word that is a little bit specific or irregular, but for the most part, it does so because of tonality. We have so many different irregulars, and it differs between the nikud itself. I will say getting into it will make you a lot more confused rather than clear. Yeah, in this sense, I can try and find an English, I can probably find an English translation for all of this. I will say, for the sake of our level of Hebrew, don't try to mix yourself up with vowels or why do you vowel the way that you do, the way that we do. For the sake of the matter, we need to remember by heart and by voice. Okay, so if you remember the sounds, even not the names, that doesn't matter to me. That's great. The sounds, and today we're going to see especially why the sounds are important as we progress. I will say, because I need to put it out there, I actually had to check the names before starting the class because I forgot the names. I remembered how they sound. I forgot the names of how they sound. So yeah, actually before teaching this class, I had to double check about the names. But yeah, this goes to show, please remember the sound. That's what we need. And good evening, Sir Clarence. And Sir Clarence and Richard Stone is joining. Good evening, Richard Stone and Sir Clarence. Thank you for joining us. I was just saying I'm answering Phyllis's questions from last class. The first one was, why do we vowel differently when conjugating? There's a long answer to that, a very, very, very long answer to that will only serve to confuse more.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. I couldn't get it off mute.
No worries. You can hear me well though.
I can hear you perfectly. Thank you. I'm gonna mute myself back.
By all means. So yeah, in terms of why do the vowels change when we conjugate? Yeah, don't try to get into why, because it differs on account of weight of the word, whether or not it's irregular or not, female or male, plural, singular, and the list goes on. So for the sake of right now, we need to remember the sounds, the tonality, and today we're going to see more why. So that's the one thing. And hello, Jeff and Mary. Thank you for joining. And the second question Phyllis had was why the word ani, so I, or me, myself, why is it not gendered? So the answer is really that it's a genderless word. We have, I wouldn't say many, but there are words that have no gender or have both. We gave the example last time of shoes. I will say another example is chayim, life, which I will write in a moment after answering this. Life, for example, is neither male or female. So life is both. It's already, the way that it's built, it's already both. If you can hear it, I'll even share screen since I'm bringing it up. So put this here. This is how you write Chaim. Okay, Chaim. Cha, Chet with the patach, Yud with the chirik, and the other Yud carrying the sound. And we have our final mem here, Chaim. And if you remember, the sound for plural male is Yim. So Chaim. That's also pluralized in the male form, except when we read it, it's one notion, life. Life is plural, and it can also be singular. For the sake of the matter, the transliteration is this. It's not letting me do English. I'll do this. Life. Okay, so life is an example for a word that is both male and female. Ani is neither. Okay, so ani is neither. So that concludes Phyllis's questions from last class. And I really hope she will watch the recording and listen to them. So that's about the questions from last class. Now I want to review what we did last class. My screen is still shared. What's this? No? Okay. So last class, what we did, we started pronouns. And as you can see, the pronouns that we did are here before us. First one, as we spoke about ani, we just said it's genderless. So it's neither female or male, or for the sake of the matter, when we use the word ani, yeah, it can go for either. So male or female. Like we said, I will say ani, Kathy, ma'am, you will say ani. Doesn't matter. Ata, where ata and at is where we start having a directive, meaning I'm addressing someone directly. Okay, so if I want to address Jeff, I can even say just you, I don't even need to say Jeff. I can say ata, hey ata, hey you. The same for at. So hey at you, if I don't know the name, for example. So that's in singular. Ata is male. And if you can see what I do is here, you can see my cursor. So ata is singular male or singular masculine. At is singular feminine. Okay, so that's how I distinguish it, especially because on the blackboard, we really don't have space in the classroom, in the synagogue. Which leads us to the second body, so he or her, or he or she. And again, if you remember from last class, this is where the sounds get confusing. So if you want to dwell on this in your own studying, if you need me to repeat it, by all means, let me know. For the sake of right now, how would I talk about a male who's absent? We used Dave, he is. And if you remember, the particles is, are, am, do not exist in Hebrew. Okay, so it's implied. So for that sense, ani is also I am, who is also he is, depending on the context. Same goes for she. It also goes for her. You can also mean her. I'll add that. He, and yeah, that sounds like like a male in English. Let's distinguish. The sound is different in terms of they will repeat, okay? And we will see it later on with other examples. He, she is, and which leads us to it, an item, an animal, not a human. So if I point to a dog, for example, and say, ze kelev, this is a dog who is a male, okay? Remember, kelev, that's a dog who's a male. That's a male. And zot, I will remind us that zo, you can see my cursor moving around it, or zo here. That's the less frequent version. Okay, in Hebrew, in Israel, you will hear it. You will hear it. Sorry? You will hear it, but less frequently. Usually people will use zot, so Z-O-T, zot. We can see our missing cholam, if you can see the dot over the aleph. So like a no, a lo. Let's do the lo. You can see the dot here. Continuing on. And our last pronoun that we did last class, us, we are. Anachnu, reading it together. And note that this, I will say again for the sake of those who weren't here on the last class, this is my automatic voweler. It wrestles with me. It doesn't let me remove all of the vowels that it automatically generates, which is why you will see stuff like here, the shva with the patach that we did not learn. For the sake of the matter, we ignore the shva and it's a patach regularly. Anachnu, regularly. The problem is the voweler won't let me use the simpler vowels, but yeah, anachnu. We are, or we, or us. Any questions so far? I will say pronouns are crucial in terms of our progress to the next materials, and I am going to continue pronouns today. I will remind us that if you start by remembering your own pronouns or gender equivalents of what we learn, that's the best way to go about it. When I remember what's relevant to me, what's not relevant to me, it pops out, at least from my experience. So yeah, this is about last class. And now I'm going to close this and head to my next paint slide. So yeah, and here's the thing. I took the liberty of just doing all of it in terms of translating and transliterating because I knew I'd wrestle with it on Zoom, but let's do it slowly together. And we do have examples here to the left. Starting with the first one, this one. Who wants to try and read it? I will try and read it then. First letter, Aleph, has a patach under it, which makes it an A. Second letter, and if you can see the emphasis in the middle of the taf. That's also the automatic voweler. It means nothing for him. So A, and then we have the taf with the 3 dots underneath that make an E sound. So ate. And then our final mem, which has no vowel to it. So it is atem. We have it here. Atem. You are in terms of speaking to multiple males. Okay. Let's say, I don't know, Boy Scouts. They're all boys, and I'm talking to them. I will tell them atem. A group of people who are male, I will refer to them as atem. Okay, so it's a directive. It's a sense of directly addressing someone. So someone's, okay? So plural people, a group who are male. Questions about groups who are male? Maybe I have some more light here. Yeah, I think I have more light now. Okay, and here's the thing. Now that we're moving to the plural female version, I do want to point out something about him, but first let's do it. So we know atem is speaking to a group of males. Aten, so the vowels are similar. The only thing that changed is the final letter. You can see my cursor moving around it. That's a final noon with no vowels. So it'll sound like a n, n. So aten, aten. And we have it here. Let's say I walked into the synagogue and it's sisterhood meeting. And I want to address the sisterhood meeting, and they're all female. I will call them aten. Aten, ha, sisterhood. You are the sisterhood. Aten, ha. We already know ha is the. Aten, ha, sisterhood. Let's even write it down. So aten, ha, and then how do you say sisterhood in Hebrew? Let's think. So, in terms of an example, aten ha'achva, the other word is less important. We really don't use it that much. But as you can see, aten ha. So if I walk into the synagogue, it's a sisterhood meeting. They're all females. If I want to tell them you are something, I will say aten something or aten ha something. Does that make sense? I want to make sure before I continue on. Thank you. Let's see if I can transliterate next to it. And it can also mean fraternity. It can also, it's a very, sisterhood doesn't translate well into Hebrew. I don't want you necessarily to remember this word, but for the sake of the example, okay? And I'll put it here, okay? This is the aten example. Continuing on, and here's the thing, what I wanted to say about both of them. And if you can see, and we will notice it when we utter the next examples, the sounds repeat themselves, okay? So if we remember the sounds, we will be able to progress. I will say caveat in terms of functionality in Israel. If you will say atem or aten, no one will even notice because we speak fast. Okay, so atem, ten. It doesn't. Most people don't notice it unless they're looking to correct your Hebrew, which is annoying. No one will do that necessarily to tourists who are just starting to learn. If they do, by all means, all the more. Continuing on with they, okay? So a group of people who are not here, either a group of males or females. And again, if it's a mixed group, go with either. People will understand. So how do we say they or they are? The first example is male, plural, masculine. And it's a very short two-letter word. We have the hey here, which my cursor is moving upon, with the two dots, which makes it sound like a he. So he. And then we have our final mem. Again, it's a consonant in this sense at the end of the word. So it's him. It's him, and we have it here. Okay, so if we're talking about a group of people who are not here, let's say the Wyoming Parliament, okay? And let's assume they're all males for a second. And we want to say they're idiots, okay? Hem idiotim. Hem idiotim. And yeah, and we can also hear the pluralization of male. Let's do it now. Let's write it down. Atem idiotim. So get they're idiots. Do it here. What did I do? No. Sorry, wrong example. Hem. I was supposed to do hem. Sorry, that's on me. Hem. Hem idiotim. If I do atem idiotim, it's you are idiots. So yeah. Atem hem idiotim. Hem idiotim. They're idiots. Any questions about group of males who are not here? Okay,
Matani,
please.
so final mem, basically, sure key it's going to be plural masculine and final nun, or plural
Yes.
feminine. Very
Yes,
common.
sir.
Okay. All right.
That's the grammatical rule actually, but
Okay.
the reason why I didn't bring it as a grammatical rule is because we always mix it up in Israel. Truth be told, and this is without being chauvinistic, people will usually use the male, but we did see a shift in the last, I want to say 5-7 years, that people are insisting on using the female versions, and it works, you know. But yeah, so in terms of this, you will see males finishing with a final mem and females ending with a final nun. Wonderful point, sir. And yeah, as we can see, things repeat, and we can also point it out when we see it. Well done, sir. Same thing for females. Here we have the hey with the 2 dots, makes it a he. And then the final nun, which is a consonant at the end of the word here. Hen, and we have it here. Okay, so let's say I'm talking about the sisterhood again, and I want to say they're wonderful. Okay. But I'm not saying sisterhood. I'm saying they are wonderful. Okay, I'm not saying sisterhood. So hen niflaot, and we can see the end here that is ot as pluralization of females. Okay, I'm gonna copy it to the paint here. Oh. Hen niflaot, and I want to transliterate. Niflaot. They are wonderful. Plural feminine. I don't know if you guys can follow when it goes out of direction here. I'll put it here. That's the example. So they're wonderful. And speaking about a group of females, hen niflaot. Questions so far? Wonderful. So I'm going to continue to this final, this here is our final pronoun for now. And I do have examples here that I want us to practice. So we did males and females. Now we're doing objects or animals or stuff that are not human, okay? So we remembered from that last slide, ze or zot. What about plural? It's. So plural it's will be either ele or elu. Let's read it. I'm going to read it letter by letter. Aleph with a tzere, with a tzere. The two dots makes it an eh. The lamed, and we are ignoring the emphasis in it. With the three dots also makes it an eh. So le. The hey carries the sound. Ele. Another option will be elu. So aleph, same thing. Lamed with the vav and the chulam on the side makes it elu. Elu. I will say, just like the zo or zot example, the one I want you to remember, I mean, ideally both, but if you remember one, I would choose ele. Because that's the more frequent one in Hebrew, in Israel. Elu is, I would say, a higher level of speech if I'm trying to sound literary. Ele, you'll hear much more often, day-to-day Israelis. And again, these are, it can be either these or these are, a group of its. Okay, so these are dogs, elu klavim. Let's write it down. Or ele klavim. Or ele kalbot. Klavot. Yeah, klavot. Yeah. I was saying it wrong. In any case, let's put it here. Here. Separate you guys. And this is exactly where paint gets annoying. Oh. So the first one, ele klavim. These are dogs that are male. Ele klavot. These are dogs that are males. Sorry, it loses this is better, I think.
It's the same three-letter root.
Any questions about these or these are, ele or elu? I was gonna say back home in the classroom, but yeah. So since that is understood, move you down here. And what I want to do is that I have these examples here. These are the examples. And I would like us to try and do them. Oh, no. Here. Forgive me for having so much space here. Or maybe, you know what I should do is this.
Hey, Matani,
Yes, sir.
can I say it? Could you tell me if I'm saying this right?
Please.
Ele kilavot, kilavim, ele kilavot, ele kilavim.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I wanted to make sure I was doing it right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please, by all means, and always ask if you want to. So I'm gonna put this here. These are our examples that I want us to try. No surprises here. Atem, aten, hem, hen, ele, elu. Okay. These are words that we used before, last class as well. So the example as well, the other word next to it, next to the pronoun. Yeah. Who wants to go first? And I kind of want us all to try at least. Is there anyone who wants to try? Start with this one.
On my screen, most of the words is blocked out except "dote,"
What?
the ending of the word. You have to put it in the middle of the screen.
Wait a moment, sir. Can you see it now?
Elu, ele, hamitz, vadot.
Nice. Well done, sir.
Thank
Elu or ele ha-mizvadot. Does anyone know what this word means?
No.
Okay. So you read it well, sir. These
Thank
are
you.
suitcases. Okay, these are suitcases. I'm gonna transliterate next to it. So this. Can you still see it this way, sir? Sir Clarence?
I can see most of it. Now I see you writing it out, transliterating.
Okay, good. That's good. Ele hamizvadot.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was just reading what you had in Hebrew and transliterated.
Awesome. And these are suitcases.
Suitcases.
Or
Okay.
these are it can also be the suitcases.
Yes. Thank you.
These are the suitcases. So yeah, if we're at the airport, and someone's asking you where, let's say a guard or one of the security or immigration people, which are your suitcases? These are the suitcases. And we will learn ours later on today. Okay, so ele or elu hamizvadot. One suitcase is mizvada. Let's write it down. And mizvada happens to be female. Okay. Other examples. I'm going to put it here so Sir Clarence can see. I'm going to do that first one. If anyone wants to try in their heart the other ones and then try, by all means. I'm going to do it slowly. A, te, m, atem. Ta, ya, rim. Atem tayarim. Okay? And this is pluralized. So what is this? Plural males or plural females? Does anyone know?
Male.
Awesome. Well done, sir. So I'm going to transliterate it. Atem tayarim, tayarim. You are tourists, which is plural masculine. Speaking to a group of males. Or mixed, by all means. And I will say tayarim, tayar, tayar. A tourist is a word we did last time. Let's add it just for the sake. Tayar. Tayaret. And as you can see, I am, just as a side note here, Israelis, I'll copy it. You can see here that the voweler kind of suggests that I dismiss the second use. Technically, in Hebrew, it's when with one yud, but when we write without vowels, two yuds is a way for Israelis to notice a ya sound. So tayar, we will, instead of using a vowel, we'll do two yuds. But the voweler corrects me, as you can see. Let's put it here. Tayeret and tayar. A tayar is a tourist who's a male. Tayeret, tourist who's a female. Tayarim, tourists. Continuing on. Does anyone want to try this? The second one that I'm moving my cursor on.
Atan tayarut. Atan tarut.
Oh, yeah, tayarut. So actually it made a mistake here. It should be a 10 tayarot. Like this.
Tarot. Tiarot. Atan tiarot.
Tayarot, yeah. No, tayarut, it says, yeah.
Tarut.
So tayarut means tourism.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I'm gonna just real quick. I didn't notice that wrong vowel. Still here. Aten tayarot. You read it beautifully though, sir. You're doing good on noticing the vowels and reading them right.
Thank you.
Aten tayarot. Yeah, so what did I do here? No, shit. Never mind about the examples. Aten tayarot. I do want to delete this. Tayarut like this. And as you can see, it's a change of one vowel. Means tourism. Okay. So tayarut means tourism. I will write it down next to it for the sake of doing it. But there's no aten tayarut. It's not you are tourism. Okay, so it's wrong. And tayarut. Yeah. Here. And we can also see that there are roots to the words. So aten tayarot is you are tourists. A group of females. Questions so far about this? Awesome. In that case, we will continue on to our two other pronouns here. Before that, I will say what I want to do next is possessive pronouns. On our last worksheets from last class, I built it assuming we will do both in the same class. So you do have possessive exercises on the last worksheet. I was building another one that I'm almost finished. I'll probably send it later this evening or tomorrow morning. Technically, today is lesson 7. Lesson 7 is a continuation of lesson 6. And I did send the syllabus on the document as requested. So we're doing good in terms of progress in the material. Let's continue. And I do have our pictures here. I don't know if you know, but I have our pictures. I have the gallery of the Zoom in front of my face. I always need to move it. So just so you know, that's what I'm doing with my mouse. Next, we were talking about hem or hen. Okay, they or they are a group of people who are not here. As Jeff well said earlier, when we see the final mem, it means male. When we see the final noon, it means female. I will say use either or, so long as you remember that it exists and how to use it. So we have 2 examples. And shit, yeah, I did the same thing here. So if you see my cursor, the automatic vowler also again did it when I'll just do this real quick. It worked. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's start with the first one. This one.
Oh, on top.
Any volunteers for this one?
Elu ele hamitzvot. Hamitzvot.
So that's the one you read before, sir. I don't know if you can see here. I was marking with my cursor here. I don't know why you can't see all the screen.
No.
But this, can you see where I'm marking now, sir?
No, I cannot.
How about now?
Are you on hand Tayat wrote?
So you're seeing the bottom for some reason.
Yeah.
Do you see it now when I mark?
Okay, hand Tayarim.
Well done, sir. Well done. So as you can see, if you practice like Sir Clarence, reading is really easy. I mean, once you, it's really math, it's repetition. If you've seen this before, you'll be able to point it out again. So hem tayarim, they are tourists who are males. Let's put it down here. And I say they are males because that's the technicality of the word, but it can also mean both, a group of females and males. Let's write it down. Hem tayarim, they are tourists in a plural masculine tense. Again, if it's a group of both, it will work. Same for the female version. Let's do the female version. So we already know the ending is gonna, we know the endings. Okay, so the first word will end with a final noon. The second word, which is conjugated as well, will end with an ot, because we know that's how plural femalized stuff are. Okay. So we have our hey, hen, like a chicken, literally like a chicken, hen. Ta, ya, rot. Hen tayarot. And as you can see, for example, here, the resh, I'll move it down so Sir Clarence can see it as well. On the second word, tayarot. I've been saying that if a certain vowel, a certain letter carries a sound, we will not bother doing the 2 dots underneath it. We can see it here. Where's the... No. Hentayarot. So technically the resh will have a shva underneath it, so the 2 dots. But it carries the sound from the cholam, making it an o. So even the vowler doesn't bother to shva, to do the two dots here. Sorry, they look awesome because it carries the sound. So hen tayarot. Okay, but there's an invisible shva there, the two dots. Delete it.
Having a great deal of difficulty with your screen. It's very hard following you around.
Yes, sir, which is why I'm usually trying to avoid Zoom. Can you see it well this way?
I can see.
Thank you.
it.
So here's the thing. I don't know. Sir Clarence can't see the top for some reason. He can only see the middle of the screen. Sir, it makes me move the paint all the time. With your permission, I'm going to keep it this way and maybe right here for the next paint. So I won't need to move it all the time. But it is recorded. You should see it all on the YouTube eventually. Forgive me.
Well, one great difficulty is we're having trouble following your cursor, trying to figure out where you're going. If
It's
during the
small, huh?
week you can get a larger cursor, it would help.
Thank you for that point, sir. Maybe what I'll do is really just mark what I'm pointing at. So
Good idea. That'll be a lot easier trying to follow you.
thank you, sir. Right now I'm doing this, okay? This example. So we already said hen tayarot, they are tourists or females. I'm gonna write it down. Hen tayarot, we can see the ending of the ot. For plural, female, plural, feminine. Would you like me to repeat what I did before because it was not clear? Should I repeat an example?
Yes, that would be fine to repeat it.
Okay, so I'll do the one above it and I'll mark it as well. So I'm gonna do this one now. The one we did right before. So hem tayarim. We have the transliteration here. Hem tayarim. They are tourists, and that's plural masculine. Okay, so let's say I'm talking about the Cowboys, okay, the Wyoming Cowboys, and I want to say they're great. Hem niflaim. Hem niflaim. I'm speaking about a group of people who are not here. Let's write it down. I'll pop out my vowler. Hem niflaim. If you remember a second ago, we said the sisterhood is wonderful, but since they're all females, it was niflaot, with the ending ot. Males are im, as we remember. I'm going to copy it and move back to my paint. And put it next to it. Hem niflaim, they're wonderful. Speaking to males. Did that make sense for everyone? Okay. And we did this example. I'm going to mark it with my cursor. That bottom one. That first one that Sir Clarence read. We have the transliteration here. Ele or elu hamizvadot. We can see the aleph with the two dots that make it an eh. The lamed. We have our particle the here. You can see the hey. And that ot sound. Ot sound, we can see it here. I'll delete it because it's ugly. But yeah, ot. So ele hamizvadot, These are the suitcases. One suitcase is mizvada, and we can see that it's female because it ends with an a. One suitcase. Mizvada, that's a female word. Conjugating it to plural, mizvadot. Questions so far before I continue? And by all means, I know this material is tricky. I know Zoom is not ideal. I apologize again for this being on Zoom. I'm definitely not feeling in my element, I promise you. But yeah. So if there are no questions about this, and if everyone's done copying, whoever copies, I'm going to continue to my last material of the day, which is on a different paint slide. Possession, and we will probably not finish this today. Another something to say to preface this, the sounds repeat themselves, okay? We will see this now. The sounds repeat themselves. Even when we're talking about possessive or possession of something, okay? Let's start. I'm gonna start with this top example. I'm marking it with my black pen thing. Let's do it together slowly. Our first letter, shin, and we see the dot on the right, making it a shin instead of a sin. 3 dots underneath, making it a she. We have our lamed with the chirik underneath. I remind us that the emphasis inside does nothing. But we have the chirik underneath, making it an i. Okay? So, she, li. And the yud carries the sound. We have our transliteration here. And sheli. Note that I added an H here. So you will not read it as a shili. Okay? She, li. That's why I added that H there. Which means mine. Let's give an example. My passport. We already encountered that word. Ha-darkon sheli. The passport of mine. I'm going to copy it next to it. Hadarkon sheli. Actually, I even did the same example here. But for the sake of the matter, the darkon, the passport, sheli, which means the passport of mine. We understand my password, my passport. My passport. Hadarkon sheli. I'm making it like this, yeah. Questions about mine? No questions about mine. I am continuing on. Our next word, does anyone want to read it? I'm going to mark it down with my pen.
Shiloh.
Nice. Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
His. That means his. Let's say, I do have an example here. Hameil shelo. So we have an example here that I pre-wrote. Let's do it together. The first word, we have the zayin with the 3 dots, which means ze. The hey carries the sound, which means this. Hameil, or ha, which means the. Mem with the shva, or the two dots underneath, which means no sound, no vowel. M, ze, ha, m. Ein with the dot underneath, I. The yud carries the sound, and we have the lamed. Ze ha-me'il. Shelo. We know shelo. This is his coat, or me'il is really like a raincoat. So let's write it down. Ze ha-me'il. Shelo. This is his coat. We can also drop the ze, and it will be his coat. Hameil shelo. Any questions about this? About this example? Awesome. So shelo, his, shelo, his. Okay. Next, obviously, we have hers. I don't know why it put an apostrophe, but who wants to read it? I'm gonna mark it with my cursor. Is that Noam here? Is Noam here? Oh, shalom, shalom. Didn't even see you. So yeah, no one wants to volunteer. I'll do it. Shilla. We have our sheen, the three dots underneath, making it a she. So we have the dot here on the right, making it a sheen instead of a seen. Lamed with the kamatz underneath, making it an a sound. Shilla, shilla. And I remind us that the emphasis is inside mean nothing. The vowel won't let me remove them.
Hakatashim shalem.
You read this, Rick, right?
Yeah.
So
Hakatashim shalem.
that's very good. Akatisim shelahem. That actually is a different example for the plural. We'll get to that. Remember it. Remember that. I actually didn't put a female version of an example here. I'll do it in a second. Shela, hers. Let's do another example in hers. Let's say her suitcase. Ha mizvada. Shela. Here. I am using a marble countertop as my mouse field, and it's not cooperating in the best way.
He hasn't asked.
Shella.
Shela. And
Okay, so this is hers. Hamizvada shela. That suitcase of hers, literally. We understand it as her suitcase. Okay, so hadarkon shelo, hamizvada shelo will mean his suitcase. Hamizvada shela, her suitcase. Questions so far? Okay, good. Just as a quick intermission, sheli, mine, shelo, his, shela, hers. Okay, note those sounds. And which brings us to our next example that I want Rick to read. This one that I'm marking with my pencil thing. You read it wonderfully a second ago.
זה המל שלו. זה המעיל שלו.
Good, that's his code. I'm actually talking about, so this example, you see it here?
הכרטיסים שלהם.
Yeah, but the idea is for him to try, Noam.
I got a tutor.
I'll do it slowly. Ha, the, ka, r, ti, si, m. Ha-kartisim, the tickets,
הטקסים
she,
שלהם.
nice, their tickets, or the tickets of theirs, okay? Literally. Let's translate it next to it. Ha, par, ti, sim, she, la, him. Their tickets. Technically speaking, this is plural masculine. I will say this can go for a group of both. So their tickets, הכרטיסים שלהם, wonderfully read by Rick and Noam. Their tickets, okay, a group of males or a group of both. And which brings us to the female version. And sir, Jeff, as you well pointed out earlier, the males end with the final mem, the females end with the final noon. We can see the example here. I'm going to mark it with my cursor next to it. And as you can see, the vowels are all the same. The only thing that's different is the end. So the one letter at the end. So if the male is shelahem, the females will be what?
Shelahen.
Nice, wonderful, Kathy and Jeff. Shelahen. So the same example can even apply. We have it here below. Hakartisim shelahen. I'm marking it down. That will also mean their tickets, except it's speaking about a group of females. Okay. Their tickets. Oh, I'll do it. Hakartisim shelahem. The transliteration doesn't change. Their tickets. Move to the side, I think. Shit. And everyone can see their tickets, right? This bottom example. Okay, great. Great. I want to refer to our presentation real quick. So I did all of this on Paint. We do have all of this on the presentation, but since I need a space to write, I did it on Paint. So yeah, we have the possessive pronouns in singular. These are more specific. We will get to them. I'm actually thinking about dropping these three. Well, these two. We'll get to it. We have examples. As I said last class, if you remember, there are examples I can't get to just all of that, I was hoping to do verbs today, but with all of that, it's already 8 and 10 minutes almost. So you have these examples here, Hadalkon Sheli, my passport, and so on and so forth. Hamizvada Shela. There are other examples. By all means, go over them. Same thing for the plural, sorry. Slide 6, we have examples that I didn't transliterate here. Let's do that real quick. You know what, that's actually, no. I'll send this after the class. And days of the week, might as well do that today. Here, but slide 11, as you can see, is already simple verbs. Now, I do want to calm us down before I continue that we will get to all the material. We will practice. For those of you who saw the syllabus, our last 3 classes are really feedback about the class, a questionnaire, music analyzing. So we have a lot of time to do all of these, and we will. But I want you to know that it's there. You don't have to wait for me in terms of starting to get acquainted with it. And of course, the idea behind possessive pronouns, male, female, pluralization was so we can start building sentences. And we will. Okay, and we have that on slide 12. And we have columns. So yeah, stuff I can't get to. That's about it for now. I wanted to do verbs. I will do them next week. This slide, the days of the week slide, refers to something we spoke about that I want to refer back to. If you remember, we spoke about directions, left and right, yamin or small. And then we said there is a trend, distinction. So let's say I'm going home, habaita, ani holech habaita. That means I'm going home, the direction of home. The trend is to go home. While house means bait. Or the difference between yamin, which is right, yamina, which means right words. Left, small, left words, smaller. And the point we were talking about was a comment made by Jimmy Greenbean. Would it be correct to say the third right, or the third, or the fourth left, for example? And I told him, yes, that is perfectly right. And now we're going to see that using the days of the week. So there's a difference between one, the word one in English, and the word first, right? There's a difference, even in Hebrew and in Italian and many other languages. There's a difference between just saying one and saying something is first. And here we see it. Who wants to read this word? I'm going to mark it like this. I don't know if you can see. And it repeats himself. You can see it repeats itself with every line here. So who wants to try and read it?
Yom Rishon.
Nice. Very well, ma'am. Very well. Well done. Yom means day or day of. Okay. Maybe I'll do it on paint as well. Can everyone still see this way when the slide is small? Okay. So Yom means day. or day of. Okay. Yom Rishon, as we can see it here in our chart, Sunday means the first day, which we will understand as Sunday. Okay. It can also be like, let's say I'm trying to schedule a meeting and I'm telling someone, oh, I'll meet you on Rishon. That'll also work. Usually you'll hear people saying Yom Rishon, the first day of the week. And yeah, Sunday is the first day of the week in Israel. That's the first day of, you go to work on Sunday. That's our Monday. So the rest are really, no, don't need to be a genius to see Yom Sheni, and we do have the transliteration here, which means Monday, the second day. Yom Sheni. So second is Sheni. Let's give another example. Let's say the second son, or my second son. I'm gonna go to my vowler. No. Haben Hasheni. So those are twice the. We know the with the ha. Ben. So haben literally means the son. Hasheni, and we're seeing the second here. So the son, the second. And we just did mine, Sheli. So the son, the second of mine, or my second son. Let's write it down. Haben ha sheni sheli, my second son. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, great. In that sense, let's continue on to the other days. Who wants to try this? And we do have the transliteration next to it.
Hayom Yom Shalishi.
So we don't have the ha, but it's Yom Shlishi. Well done, Rick. Yom Shlishi.
Yom Shalishi.
Yeah, well done. That's Tuesday, or the third day. And here's the thing. If I want to say my third son, it will work the same. Let's follow just so we can see it. Haben hashlishi sheli. Let's add it. Which means and Ben means son or son of.
Ben.
I'm going to write it down.
Okay.
It can also mean boy. Questions about this so far? And I know it's scattered on paint. I promise you, I'm trying my best to keep it tidy. So yeah, Yom Shlishi, Tuesday. Shlishi means third, so we can also use it. Let's say the example we gave is my third son, my second son. But yeah, that's how we refer to it. The third day, the fourth day, the sixth day, except the Sabbath. The Sabbath is specific, but let's get to it first. Who wants to read this one? The fourth. Trying to mark it with my cursor.
Yom Revi'i.
Nice. Well done, man. Well done. Especially your Ayin pronunciation. Well done. Yom Revi'i, Wednesday or the fourth day, as we're learning. And Thursday, I'll do that one. Yom, you already know that means day or day of. Chet with the kamat, with the patach underneath, which means cha. Mem with a dot underneath, making it mi. The yud carries the sound, so cha mi. Then we have the shin, also with a dot underneath, and the yud carries the sound. So it's yom cha mi shi. Yom Chamishi, the fifth day. This one's a little bit more tricky. Who wants to try this one before we get to the Sabbath? Sorry?
Should be Yom Shishi.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Well, I have the English to help guide me.
Even better. That's what we're doing, right? Until we get it all by heart. So that's Friday. Sorry? Friday, the sixth day. And I'll end with the Sabbath. The Sabbath is the only irregular out of the seven here. We already know Yom, so day of or day of. Shabbat. Shabbat is a verb. Okay, it's a verb that is in male form. It means ceased or stopped. So the day that he stopped or ceased. The day that he ceased. It's a very common root of the word Shabbat. Shvita, the word protest or not strike, not protest, strike. Is also comes from that. Let's write it down. Shvita. It comes from the same root of words. You can see the shin, bet, and taf. Strike, like a worker strike. Any questions about that? Now, here's the thing. Shvita is not an important word for you to remember when going to Israel. I just wanted you to see that words correlate. And we're seeing that as we go on, the root of the word will usually expand and conjugate, determining upon either it's male, female, plural, singular, context. So that's about it. If anyone has questions about today's material, now is the time. Does anyone have questions? No one has questions, so I'll summarize. So we did start with answering the questions from home. For Phyllis, maybe she'll see it, maybe not. Either way, I'll make sure she gets the answers. We continued our pronouns today. Today we did the plural pronouns as well. Note that for males, the ending of final mem will repeat. For females, the final noon will repeat when pluralized. And the sounds repeat themselves, as we're seeing with the pluralizations of males ending with im, kartisim, tickets, like we saw. Females will end with ot, mizvadot, suitcases. So we gave those examples, and we did the days. Okay, by all means, I'm going to send you the worksheet and a finalized and another finalized worksheet probably tomorrow evening. Please refer to them. As I said, there's material that I can't get to in class due to lack of time. Please use them. And as you can see, practicing makes it so you can read a lot faster. And once we're there, it's only a matter of reading more and more. Oh, that's a new word. That's a new word. Eventually, you'll have a book vocabulary. That's about it. Speaking about next week we don't have a class on the Tuesday. I don't know if everyone saw the email I sent. Next week on the Monday is Passover and Tuesday is the second Eve. So we are not going to have a class next week. It is postponed for the following one. Okay, I repeat, no class next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is, it's my mouse. Next Tuesday is the 23rd of April. We do not have a class on the 23rd. We will have one on the 30th. Okay. That's about it. But speaking about Passover, I want to challenge you all to try and read the Haggadah. I'm very confident all of you can do it. You might not understand what it means, but you will be able to read it, hopefully understand a bit of what it means. And I do believe we have transliterated versions of the Haggadahs as well. I guess what I'm trying to say, bottom line, is practice, practice, practice. Listen to the music I send. This last email I sent, the theme was younger Israel, or so older music. You can hear on their dialect the difference in their Hebrew. So that's about it. I'm done for today. If anyone has questions or concerns, by all means, I'm going to stop my sharing as well. If anyone has questions or concerns, I'm here. Or you can call me or email.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
All
class.
have a wonderful Passover.
Awesome
Thank
piano
you.
practice.
Thank you all. Stephanie, ma'am, we can stop recording as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, thank you everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.